Fine, I'll do the ranking. Nobody asked me to do the ranking? Fine, I'll do it anyway. Hello all of you Niblonians and janitors. Today we're ranking the Futurama Planet Express crew from least important to most important. This will not include Scruffy the janitor or Nibbler. Scruffy would obviously be last anyway, just because he has the best mustache. Doesn't mean I can ignore the fact that he's the least important. Nibbler also, while important to the overall story of Futurama, is used very infrequently. No, this video is focusing on the cast of Futurama that the show made a big deal about working there in the first and second episodes. Anyway, with that out of the way, sit back, relax and tolerate me as I rank the Planet Express crew from the least important to the most important for the series. I think most people will agree with me here, ranking Hermes last in terms of importance to the series. Sure, he does have some great episodes under his belt, one of which giving us a bit of backstory on him and even Bender, but for the most part he is just there for the bureaucrat, limbo and Jamaican jokes. Hermes does have a family which adds to the depth of his character a little bit. His wife La Barbara isn't used too much throughout the series, but when it's a Hermes-centric episode, she will be there. His son Dwight feels slightly more important and has been in some stories of his own, though for some strange reason he disappeared after the movies. The later seasons have shown that he has a poor relationship with Berg, the character he's probably funniest interacting with, but it's almost always used for jokes. Hermes as a whole is shown to be not that good of a guy. Same with his wife. He is fleshed out in the sense that he isn't completely one note, but every Planet Express crew member is fleshed out at least a little bit. He himself basically said that he's the least important member in terms of his job.
Only the most pathetically useless employee will be fired today, and that employee is Hermes Conrad.
I took that moment to be a bit of a wink moment to the audience about him being the least important Planet Express crew member. The Scruffy, but we don't mess with Scruffy. Scruffy'll kick your ass.
Fire me if you dare.
Amy and Hermes both feel as if they're pushed to the side when comparing them to the other members of the crew. While Hermes has the family side, which has led to some stories, Amy's father is a big part of her character. He is clearly the cause of her insecurities. The fourth movie makes that clear. Her mother isn't very important though. What truly pushes her above Hermes in this ranking though is her relationship with Kith. There are a decent amount of stories involving Kith. Whenever the episode prioritizes him or Amy, you can guarantee the other will be in there somewhere. And of course, when you bring in Kith, you also bring in Zap, which connects to Lila, causing a chain of plus events. She's also learning from the professor. A couple of stories have come from that, so that's neat. Berg is the doctor for Planet Express, but he's not very good. Him being a crab isn't just funny due to his lack of knowledge about human anatomy, but it's helped a few stories be born. We don't know too much about his family, but he's been really fleshed out in other ways. We know all of the farms he goes through when growing up though. He has a great backstory with the professor, but that is mostly just one episode and then in bits of others. He has relationship troubles mostly due to his smell. He's poor too, which gets brought up a lot, but doesn't cause too many stories. He doesn't have a lot of characters that are close to him to cause stories to happen, but him being the crew's doctor comes up a lot more than you'd probably think if you're a casual viewer. It is mostly just his profession and the fact that he seems to be used for more jokes than Amy or Hermes, why he's ranked this high up though.
There, little friend, good as new. Oh!
Plus he seems to have more variety in stories than Hermes or Amy, even if he doesn't expand the universe much beyond his own species. I know most people would probably want me to rank Bender higher, and if you think he should be higher, if I ranked him higher, it'd be showing bias towards liking his character, rather than thinking he holds the series up more than the following characters. Bender often is used as the foul-mouthed, cruel robot, but he is also very important all around. Gets a lot of episodes based around him in the later seasons in particular, and while they do feel quite similar in the later seasons, they are still a part of the Futurama experience. He has a great bond with Fry, his best friend. A lot of his character is him getting into trouble with either the crew or just people out in the world. Since he's an outspoken robot, there's a lot you can do with his character. Not only is he outspoken, but him being a robot that can bend has its own potential. It gives us a character that can interact with human-hating robots, and they use the fact that he's essentially a tool more often than it seems. I could justify him being even lower, but what really holds him higher than the other characters is just the fact that his popularity likely kept the show on the air for as long as it was on the air.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
It doesn't look so shiny to me.
Shinier than yours, meatbag.
Ignoring bias towards or against him, he's easily the most popular and most quoted character on the show. Every show needs that character. His popularity is also partially likely why he got more and more episodes based around him in the later seasons.
Let's go already!
I know that the main three characters are Bender, Lila and Fry, but Bender does often feel like the comedic relief. The Professor, on the other hand, is the reason all of the characters work in the same place, and is the reason why the characters get activities to get caught up into. He's been given the biggest backstory with the exception of Fry, likely due to his old age being a good way to not screw up a timeline by going back often. His inventions are constantly worked into a plot, and when it's not one of his inventions furthering a plot, there's a good chance it's a delivery. He might not get as much screen time as Bender, but I think he is a more integral part to the show.
Yo, Wrinkles, you got big glasses. I'm gonna call you the Professor.
What? No one calls me that!
Part of me wanted to put Lila lower than the Professor. I personally don't find her that interesting, but I have to ignore my bias. Lila tends not to be a character that gets that many episodes centered around her, but that fits her character. She's used as the normal one a lot of the time for the audience, despite the fact that Fry used to be. She's very serious, but can have fun. She has a rivalry with Amy, she puts Bender in his place, she keeps Fry and Bender doing what the Professor wants, she's the only one capable of standing up to Hermes on an intellectual level, and her relationship with Fry is a gigantic part of the series. She doesn't have that much of a dynamic with Zoidberg though. The earlier seasons made a big deal about her being an alien, only for her backstory to be that she was a mutant the whole time. The seasons following focused on developing her relationship with her parents.
You're a superhero? Well, that's wonderful! But did you have to make the costume so revealing?
And her relationship with Fry, whilst keeping her the normal one of the group. She flies the Planet Express ship, which is needed for basically everything in the show. While she might not seem like she does that much for the series, what she does do is make a show that could potentially turn completely ridiculous into something comprehensible, and with a structure. It's also important in a lot of comedies to have a normal character to play off of. It couldn't have been anyone else, there was never a doubt in my mind. If you had to pick a main character for Futurama, it would obviously be Fry. He started out as the normal one sucked up into the ridiculousness, but as he got used to the ridiculousness of his surroundings, so did the audience. After that, Lila became the normal character, but with her being from the future, it didn't make sense for the first season. Fry is often used as the one that has a lack of understanding of the time he's in, but that does slow down bit by bit as the series goes on, and transitions him into being the dumb one.
For $1, what tool is used to hammer a nail? Is it A, a hammer, B, a nail, C...
B, nail. Final answer.
Him being in a relationship with Lila... Wait, why am I trying to justify this? Fry's obviously the most important, the end. Next time I'll probably rank cartoon chairs, or something like that. Cartoon doorknobs, maybe. Yeah, that sounds like the sort of thing to do when you're all out of ideas, right? Bye. Bye. I guess.